So just take it easy, sit back, have fun, get some glue on your fingers, and okay, so this is what it looks like, just the back. So I thought the rain on the studio's roof would make spooky season sound even better. So in today's video, we're taking some thrift store plastic pumpkins and we're giving them a high-end look for the spooky season. So yes, these pumpkins right now, if you go into almost any thrift store, they are there. They were the old trick or treat. Kids took them out. You put the little treat in there when they went door to door to trick or treat. So I love making these guys over, especially since they're so readily available right now. I love sharing ideas with you all what to do with it. So I'm going to be sharing 2 different ways of what to do with these pumpkins. For this first one, I need to take the plastic handle off. We'll see if I can get it to pull out without ruining it. Apparently it was Scott's, so it has a name on it. If I can't get it pulled out without ruining it, then it's okay. Sometimes that plastic might be molded together. Sometimes it's all about trying to get in there and grip it first. I think I got it. I think I got it. There we go. So just need to do the other one now. This one will be way easier. It's not molded to the plastic. So 2 different versions. So I'm going to take this one, set it off to the side for right now. And this one I'm actually going to cut out this area using a box cutter, X-Acto knife, whatever you have. Like to say that they kept going in straight lines, but nope, sadly no. This is really thin, cheap plastic. I'm going to see if I can take scissors since it's really thin. I thought that maybe that would, so I can make around those teeth. That seems to be working. Okay, so now the next step is tissue paper. We're just going to be using tissue paper to cover them up to get rid of that plastic look, to give them some texture so it doesn't have to necessarily be flat and anything like that. So yes, so next step. So Dollar Tree, you can just buy a whole bunch of, big lot, I guess you'll call it, of tissue paper. And so I'm just going to take some time to rip a whole bunch of pieces, workable pieces. Okay, I almost did a whole package of it. It's better to have it ripped and ready to go than not be ready to go. So I actually want to do the inside of my pumpkin too. So I'm going to start off with the inside. Other than blowing it out, wiping it out, I didn't worry too much about completely cleaning it. So to adhere it, we're going to be using Mod Podge. So I'm just going to take some. I'm going to just start brushing it on in there. Nice thing about it, it doesn't have to be perfect at all. We just need to get it in there. textured. It doesn't have to be laying straight. You want that imperfect texture going on there. So now I'm in the inside, but I'm kind of like got to that rim top part. Let me see if there we go. So I'm kind of overlapping it. I am using my hand. I can tell that when I try to put too much of the Mod Podge on, the tissue paper just comes back up with me. So it's one of those jobs, you got to get your hands dirty. So kind of wrapping it over the edge. Okay, now that we have it over the edge, we're going to start to work down. I'll probably have to wait for the one to dry and then flip it over to do the back. That's just how some projects are. But I'm overlapping it. I don't care if it gets crinkled. Small, large, it does not matter. More crinkles, the better. Oh yeah, this is going to take a little bit to dry, especially right now and when it's so humid out. So it's a personal choice. I'm kind of liking when I'm doing one layer and then doing another layer over. That way I can really get it kind of be a lot of textured and crinkly. So just personal, you just play with it and do whatever it is that you like. So this is 2 and then this is 1. So the one's a little bit smoother, but I really wanted to have that texture to it. I think, heck, who knows what it's going to look like when it dries, but see how that just gives it a little bit more texture. So I'm thinking I like the texture. Okay, so let's get to the face area. Make sure that I have it in those little crevices. Some of it fell into my glue. Whoops. It'll be all right. I was going to get glue on it anyway. Okay, so I'm doing the bottom. I might regret that it's just a little wet. That rim's a little wet, but I think I can fix it if I have any problems. You know how it is. You don't want to wait forever for everything to dry. Especially when this is probably, with this rain, going to take overnight to dry. One thing I am looking for before I finish up the top is any of those straight seams from the straight pieces. I don't know if I'm going to like that once it dries and it gets painted, so I'm taking a little piece of the tissue paper, crinkling it up, and then covering that little seam so it's more of a, yeah, I don't want that straight seam. Okay, now I'm just going to set it off in front of a fan and let it dry. Now this one I'm going to start a little bit different. I want to be able to work into the eyes and the nose and the mouth and roll the paper over. And actually putting paper on it I think is going to thicken it up, but I got a tag that I need to get off here first. So okay, now that I have the first layer glue off my fingers, let me get some more glue on my fingers. I ripped up some smaller pieces. That way I could just because I have to kind of do both sides when you're wrapping it in like that. Get through his buck teeth. Get my hand in there. And then if it doesn't, just rip it. If it doesn't fit, rip it. So just take it easy, sit back, have fun, get some glue on your fingers, and get the little guy all papered up. You know, crafting's not necessarily about mass producing and rushing and getting through the project, as it is about creating and relaxing and having fun. Remember, you thrifted it, you bought it inexpensively. And if you wanted to, I find that if I can just snip those little edges with some scissors, that's a little bit on the helpful side. Then when I'm pulling it around the eyeball, that it doesn't just stick in there. Okay, I've got it all done. So now I just need to let it dry. So now I'm going to spray the inside with some of the Rust-Oleum black. Just be easier than trying to get my hand into that again. Not that the angles are going to be easy, but then we're going to go ahead and spray the whole outside just so it's all one base color and it kind of has some more to grab onto. Okay, so now it's time to make up some paint for my pumpkins. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this Sweater Weather. I love that orange. And we're going to do, even though we put the tissue paper on it to help the paint stick, add more texture. We're going to add a little bit more texture by adding some baking soda in with our paint to make more of a textured paint. So I'm just going to, it's just an eyeball. There's not any like science to mixing the two together. I like the harvesty orange of this paint. So like, you know, like half and half, or you know, you'll know once you get it mixed up if you need more paint or if you need more baking soda. For me, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the bottom, just so that can dry, and then I can flip it over and do the other side. I'm going to just use a big old brush because we're doing texture, so that means we're just dabbing it on. So this will really grab onto that tissue paper. It'll just be a fun pumpkin. Yes, you could have just put the paint on, but I was just looking for, you know, I really wanted it to grab onto it. I really wanted to have some texture on this pumpkin. Even though pumpkins are smooth, yes, I realize that, but it's about having fun and trying different techniques. I like the color. Yeah, we're starting to get those colder nights here in Michigan, so we're definitely falling into fall. So same, except for this one, I'm kind of going to go around the mouth area very gingerly. I don't want to get a lot of paint in the inside of this. So if I was just doing the bottom part at first and just had it flipped over like the other one, I might get it right into there, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep that inside black. So before I start finishing this up, I need to go ahead and drill a couple holes so I can put another piece of wire through it since I took the plastic off. So I'm just trying to do something that's level and just a guesstimate of where it goes. So now I'm going to take some clear wax, some decrepit dust, and I'm going to go along like where the seams are, just ever so slightly, just to give it that. So you can see the little indentations of the pumpkin. And then I'm going to try to blend it out so it can hit all that yummy detail on the sides with a dry brush. I don't want you necessarily to have to see that distinct line as we're just going to blend it out. As you see, the decrepit dust, like the cinnamon, the decrepit dust goes very far. So it sticks right onto that wax. And then while the wax is still wet, it's easier to blend it in. So I'll just have to work my whole way around the pumpkin now. Okay, so this is what it looks like, just the back, but now I have to work on the front. And I think what I want to do is I'm going to do the darken or the decrepit on the eyes. And the nose. I am going to do it on the mouth too, but you got to get it before your wax starts to soak in and dry. Not worry about blending it quite at the moment. Now can I see the impression of what it was with all the texture? So that's why that paper, giving it the paper mache type of look, just gives you that all that texture. And then I'm going to go back in and do the lines that are underneath around the face. And then I'm kind of taking it on the seam, blending it up. Highlighting that mouth. And if my mouth doesn't turn out that way, the way that I envision it, I can go ahead and just, I don't like the teeth. We're just going to cover up the teeth. We can go back in with some paint and highlight it, but yeah, I didn't like those little teeth. The snaggletooths. We'll just leave it like that. It's all about just having fun, and then if your eye doesn't like something, change it up. It's going to be basically the same on this one. So what I'm doing is I'm just going for that old-timey look, that antiquing, like this has been around, kids have used it. I absolutely love how it's catching on the crinkling of the paper. That's why that perfectly imperfect didn't matter. I just didn't, when I was putting the tissue paper on, I just didn't want there to be like a sharp seam or anything like that. Okay, now to find the lines where the face is. May not be quite as easy, but I think I can see them. Okay, now I need to seal the whole thing in so it doesn't come off on your hands. So we're going to use the Rust-Oleum's matte finish in the clear protection. So now for the handles, I have this black wire. Just going to guesstimate on my length. Take that little kink off there. This is 17 gauge, so it's a little bit on the strong side, which is okay. I just absolutely love how this turned out. Oh my goodness. So now for the wire. Hopefully I drilled my holes. I did. Okay, I just didn't know what length I needed it to be, so when I get to my length, I can cut the excess off. Oh, I like that length, I think. And all I'm going to do is kind of bend it up so it doesn't fall out. I don't really think I can get in there, do any twists, but once I get it bent, then I will cut off some more of the excess. But it'd be nice to have it nice and tight. So cute. So what did you think? Plastic candy catcher of Halloween decor into beautiful decor pieces. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm sure I'm like, you always have to trust your vision. Like, oh my gosh, this kind of looks like a hot mess, putting all that tissue paper on there, but there was a goal. So the goal was when you went to distress it with the decrepit dust, that it hit all those beautiful details and really gave it that old primitive type of look that it's been around for a long time. So give me a quick comment down below. Do you have any of these plastic ones just laying around your house like I do? Well, I didn't really have too many. My kids are kind of grown now, but I absolutely loved picking them up. You probably can find them out and about, garage sailing, thrift stores, a lot of places right now. So give me a quick comment down below. Have I inspired you to give this DIY a try? So again, thank you if you're part of our YouTube family for your kind comments, your compliments, your likes, and sharing of our channel. It really warms my heart. You will never even know how much. So again, if you're not part of our YouTube family and you want to become a part of the YouTube family, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when we upload a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!